gotta hurt.
Of course, we know the damned bugs from the Starship Troopers movie, a classic from Mr. Paul Verhoeven, the master of satire. These were basically a swarm of terrifying bug-like aliens, and humanity was forced to go fight a war against them. This is the world of Roughnecks Starship Troopers Chronicles, an animated TV series that hit the screens from 1999 to 2000. Adapted from the 1959 novel Starship Troopers by Robert Heinlein and a 1997 film of the same name, the series follows a squad of young soldiers as they battle these alien creatures across space and various planets. So, if you're up for a ride filled with action, adventure, and a sprinkle of interstellar mystery, then strap on in and enjoy the Roughnecks on their mission to save humanity. And remember, in the words of the Roughnecks, they are not just here to fight, they are here to squash some bugs. Before we go into our explanation, though, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. How Roughnecks brought Starship Troopers to TV. The TV series begins with a battle where the mobile infantry squashes a bug infestation on Pluto and unites humanity under the banner of Strategically Integrated Coalition of Nations, also known as PSICON. They declare war against the insect-like alien race known as the Bugs, or Arachnids, and mark the beginning of the PSICON Bugs War. At the heart of the action is our heroes, the Alpha Team, also known as Razak's Rough Riders, led by the tough Gene Razak, and after their successful Operation Pest Control and wiping out the bug city on Pluto, they are heading back, but not before they spot a giant transport bug. This discovery reveals a shocking truth. The bugs are not from Pluto at all. Thus, the chase is on, and the trail leads the Roughnecks to Hydora, a planet in the Virgo constellation. Here, they come face to face with a brain bug. This smart critter keeps other bugs from going bonkers and self-destructive and wiping each other out. Their mission, you ask? Oh, nothing much. Just universal domination, with humanity's extinction as a stepping stone. And obviously, this goes without saying, they won't rest until humanity is wiped out. Well, you know the drill. Their next stop is Tophet, home to a species known as the Skinnies. PSICON tries to set up camp here, but they find the Skinnies under the bug's control. The Skinnies are forced to mine a precious mineral called Xylon for the transport bugs. The mobile infantry steps in, takes out the control bugs, and frees Tophet. But every victory comes at a price. Their buddy, Carl Jenkins, is left mentally scarred. Despite this setback, the Skinnies join PSICON to fight against the bugs, driven by their lack of space travel tech. The battle for the universe is on. The plot thickens when PSICON eventually discovers Klendathu, the bug's home planet. They make an attempt to take out the Bug Queen. However, she slips away and heads straight to Earth. Even though her transport bug is destroyed mid-journey, she still manages to reach our blue planet. And, like a true villain queen, she ignited a series of fierce battles on the home front. With battles raging on home soil and bug reinforcements pouring in, it's clear that the war is far from over. The series is a creative cocktail that blends elements from Paul Verhoeven's film and the original novel. It introduces the Skinnies, an alien race, along with high-tech gears like powered armor suits and drop pods. But it doesn't stop there. The series spices things up and throws in some fresh twists, like the war kicking off on Pluto. Interestingly, it steers clear of the political nuances present in the original works and the film. But then again, the show is mostly directed at children. The show walked the tightrope and stayed loyal to its adult sci-fi roots while keeping it kid-friendly for the Saturday morning cartoon crowd. So yeah, that's Roughnecks Starship Troopers Chronicles for you. It first aired in August 1999 and ran for one successful season. It won over fans and has since enjoyed a cult following. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Behind the scenes, the production was a hot mess. They had to juggle 4 different animation teams to churn out the episodes. The result? Too many cooks spoil the broth. We are certainly not talking about their cooking skills here. Despite their best efforts, the series was never quite finished. They planned for 40 episodes, but only 36 made it to the screen, leaving the final story arc hanging. The series was structured into 8 campaigns, each consisting of 5 episodes, and followed the Roughnecks through various battles. Each campaign told its own story, but all were part of the larger narrative of the Bug War, creating one single plot. Bug hunts and cliffhangers, exploring the episodes. Episode 1, Freefall Pluto, Day 1. The first episode of Roughnecks Starship Troopers Chronicles, aptly named Freefall Pluto, Day 1, plunges us right into the middle of the action. The story unfolds with the development of the mobile infantry, an elite group of soldiers, to the distant planet of Pluto. But why are they here? Well, basically, pest control. Trust me, it's more serious business than it sounds. We are introduced to the mobile infantry unit that includes Johnny Rico, Dizzy Flores, and Carmen Ibanez. Their mission is to eradicate a bug infestation on the distant planet of Pluto. Easy peasy, you see. Fresh from training, they are eager to test their mettle on the battlefield. But upon landing on Pluto's icy surface, it becomes immediately clear that this mission is far from routine. The troopers find themselves in a fierce battle against the relentless arachnids, a formidable alien species of gigantic, lethal bugs. The bugs are ruthless, giving our heroes a harsh welcome to the brutal realities of interstellar warfare. The atmosphere is charged with tension as Razak's Roughnecks confront a swell of these horrifying creatures. The stakes can't be higher as the troopers try to secure their base and repel the bug onslaught. Oof, the adrenaline is palpable. In the midst of this intense combat, we catch a glimpse of the bond and bravery that Razak's Roughnecks is known for, led by the tough-as-nails Lieutenant Jean Razak. However, we see the team struggle to stay united and follow Razak's commands. The first episode brilliantly introduces us to the characters and their unique traits. We see Rico's unwavering resolve, Dizzy's grit, and Carmen's quick-wittedness. They face numerous hurdles, from swarms of attacking bugs to equipment failures, yet persevere with sheer determination and teamwork. Freefall Pluto Day 1 is an engaging introduction to the world of Roughnecks Starship Troopers Chronicles. It leaves you on the edge of your seat, eager to see how the Roughnecks will fare in the escalating war against the arachnids. It's a mind-blowing ride from the very start, and I bet you wouldn't want to miss a second of it.
Ooh, that's gotta hurt.
Episode 2, Plasma Bugs of Navarone, Pluto, Day 4. In the second episode of Roughnecks Starship Troopers Chronicles, titled Plasma Bugs of Navarone, Pluto, Day 4, we see the mobile infantry fight tooth and nail against the arachnids on the desolate frozen wasteland of Pluto. But 4 days into their mission, Razak's Roughnecks find themselves staring down a new menace, the plasma bugs. These insects can fire plasma bursts that can turn spaceships into mere confetti and wipe out an army of soldiers in a blink. The episode began with the Roughnecks on high alert and beads of sweat forming on Lieutenant Jean Razak's forehead. The intelligence reports indicated that the plasma bugs have a nest hidden deep within the arachnid fortress called Navarone, and the Roughnecks must navigate this uncharted territory. You see, failure here isn't an option. This operation's failure could mean the end of the entire operation on Pluto. Thus, the Roughnecks are ready to face the unknown. As the team trudges through Pluto's unforgiving landscape, they face swarms of smaller bugs. To give you a brief picture, imagine gnats on steroids. Each step they take is a gamble, and every shadow can be a potential ambush. With scaling the terrains and battling the arachnids, the team also braves the harsh Pluto environment. Johnny Rico, who was once a green recruit, now steps into the spotlight. Under Razak's watchful eye, Rico displays his leadership skills and determination. Meanwhile, Dizzy Flores and the rest of the squad fight alongside him and show their unrelenting teamwork. No wonder Razak's Roughnecks were an elite fighting unit. The episode's climax sees the Roughnecks reaching Navarone, a fortress of ice and all things troublesome. Here, the plasma bugs emerge with their plasma bursts and light up the battlefield like it's Christmas. The Roughnecks dance with death, with their lives hanging by a thread, but they continue their fight. Through sheer grit and strategic prowess, the team manages to destroy the plasma bugs and secure a crucial victory for the Psychon. The second episode undoubtedly makes the viewers all worked up as the Roughnecks defied any odds thrown their way. But wait up, because this war against the Arachnids is far from over. Semper Fi! Episode 3, Handle with Care, Pluto, Day 9. In the third episode, Handle with Care, Pluto, Day 9, our heroes, the mobile infantry, face a dangerous mission. Psychon hands them a peculiar assignment: retrieve a live plasma bug for research. But wait, hold up. Let me introduce a plasma bug properly. A plasma bug is a heavily armored creature that is volatile. Mind you, the Roughnecks must retrieve it without causing the bugs harm and treating them with utmost care. The troopers are then joined by Lieutenant Earl Walker, an intelligence officer with an Ivy League background. As the episode progresses, we see the team preparing for this high-stakes operation of transporting a bug that is teetering on the brink of explosion. Sounds serious. This isn't your run-of-the-mill seek and destroy mission. No, not this time. However, our alpha team of heroes has its own personal conflicts to deal with. Lieutenant Razak finds himself unwilling to follow orders from the ego-driven Walker, who wouldn't mind gambling with lives for the sake of the bug. We see Johnny Rico, Dizzy Flores, and the rest of the Roughnecks suit up and once again plunge back into the bug-ridden territory. They gradually inch closer to their objective of securing a plasma bug, which is easier said than done. They had to dodge attacks and fend off hordes of arachnids, as well as make sure that the plasma bug remained out of harm's way. The episode tests the troopers' skills and resolve at every turn. The team faces several near misses, almost when the plasma bug slips through their fingers. But does it end well for our Roughnecks? Let's find out. Episode 4, Basic Training, Pluto, Day 10. The fourth episode, titled Basic Training, Pluto, Day 10, begins with the squad's documentarian, Higgins, who accidentally compromises the safety of the team during a heated battle. This puts the team at risk and makes Lieutenant Razak contemplate sending him back to Earth, a move that could shake the team's spirit at this moment. However, Rico, always the team player, stands up for Higgins and argues his importance to the team. Touched by Rico's words, Lieutenant Razak changes his plan. He tasks Rico with the responsibility of training Higgins and turning him from a mere bystander to a battle-ready soldier. While Rico and Higgins are busy with their intense training, the rest of the Roughnecks are given a rescue mission. They had to save a demolition squad cornered in a canyon by the fearsome warrior bugs. Known for their bravery and skill, the Roughnecks don't waste a moment and head out to save their fellow soldiers. However, as they arrive, they are faced with a new enemy, the flying hopper bugs. These bugs can fly, hence the name, and also have razor-sharp stingers. The Roughnecks' first attempts to fight these bugs fail, as their laser weapons seem to have no effect on them. Instead, to their utter shock, they discover that the hoppers actually get stronger by absorbing the laser energy. The episode takes an exciting turn as the Roughnecks try to figure out how to deal with this new threat. Meanwhile, Higgins, under Rico's tough but supportive training, starts to change for the better. As Rico says during the episode, "We're Roughnecks. We stick together no matter what." When, in a tragic turn of events, Razak is killed by a giant bug, the Roughnecks brace for a tough goodbye. They unite one last time to fulfill Lieutenant Razak's final wish to spread his ashes over Luna Lake in Colorado. They are joined by General Redwing, Razak's former love, and Sergeant Bruto, who seems to be dealing with his own personal struggles. Their farewell takes an unexpected turn when they accidentally uncover a bug operation at the lake. Redwing and Higgins are snatched up in the ensuing chaos, but there's no room for panic. Rico, now a sergeant, steps up and rallies his troops. With Bruto's help, they manage to save the hostages and squash the bug threat. Impressed by Rico's leadership, Red Wing offers him a promotion to lieutenant right on the battlefield, which he accepts to keep the squad together. With their mission complete, they gather again at the lake, this time to carry out Razak's last wish. As Rico steps into his new boots as lieutenant after Razak's tragic death, the Roughnecks find themselves on a detour to Psycon HQ in Oahu. They are assigned to hold the fort against a looming bug attack. Rico feels the weight of filling in the shoes of the late Lieutenant Razak's shoes. This becomes more challenging with the arrival of two fresh faces: Private Max Bruto, Sergeant Bruto's rebellious teen son, and Sergeant Charlie Zim, a blast from Rico's past and Razak's once best bud. On the other hand, the bugs don't waste time and launch a full-blown assault and catch the squad off guard. Rico stumbles at first, but he soon finds his stride and steps up as a true leader. Despite their very valiant efforts, the bugs proved too much for them, and Psycon was left with no option but to pack up and leave the island. They lick their wounds and regroup. Carl drops a bombshell. The worst is still on the horizon. With a little nudge from Carl, Rico and Dizzy decide to give romance a shot. But as Psycon gears up to reclaim Oahu, Honolulu, City Hall, and their HQ, Rico's protective instincts kick into overdrive for his new flame. After their hard-fought victory, the pair made the tough call to put their budding romance on ice until the war was over. Just as they are catching their breath, Sky Marshal Sanchez drops in at the Psycon HQ to pat his troops on the back, but the ground beneath the building opens up into a massive pit. Sanchez is swallowed up by the bugs and the HQ is reduced to rubble. The bugs have dug a huge pit 5 miles across, and the entire HQ sinks into it. With Sanchez captured, it is time for one last clash with the Bug Queen, deep under the earth. The Psycon forces move underground and discover villages and POWs along the way. Meanwhile, 150 marauders, built to battle in lava, gather themselves for a final face-off with the Bug Queen. She lures the troopers deeper into the fiery hollow pit that was once Psycon HQ, but the Queen has underestimated the Roughnecks. This time, they are prepared to the T and don't mind sacrificing themselves, even if it means they have to walk through fire, because, as rightly said by a Roughneck, no guts, no glory. However, the series did not have a proper conclusion, and 4 episodes remained unfilmed. The show ended before the Roughnecks could save Earth and kill the evil Queen Bug. Troopers and telepaths meet the Roughnecks squad. While the Roughnecks gave us intense battles with the bugs, it was the show's rich character roster that made it all seem worthwhile. Although a stickler for rules, Lieutenant Jean Razak was the rock-solid pillar of the Roughnecks. Tough as a nail and hardened by battles, Razak was a leader every man in the troop looked up to. He was a kind leader who commanded respect from his crew and was also a father figure. But Razak was most certainly not a superhero. He bore the burden of every defeat and every tough call, which made him a character with a deeply human side. With a tough exterior, Lieutenant Razak was the beating heart of the Roughnecks. Even when he decided to sacrifice himself to save Rico, the Roughnecks were indeed Razak's Roughnecks. If Razak was the show's heart, Johnny Rico was its life. When the show began, Rico was a recruit fresh out of training and full of enthusiasm and innocence. But as the series progresses, we see him transform into an inspiring leader capable of leading men into battles. Under Lieutenant Razak's guidance, Rico learned the harsh realities of the war. While his charming skepticism for technology was something some would find adorable, it was his courage and quick wit that set him apart. Rico had a strong sense of duty and clarity in putting his team's safety before anything and everything else. This made him a natural fit to lead the Roughnecks when the baton was passed to him after Razak. His journey from a green recruit to a corporal, then a sergeant, and finally a lieutenant, where he steps into Razak's shoes, is a story about a character you can't help but root for all the way. Dizzy Flores was a high school buddy of Rizzo's who had an unrequited secret crush on him since their school days. But when Rico finally poured his heart out to Dizzy, she turned him down. Dizzy was convinced that she was a bit of bad luck and that being with her would spell doom for Rico. But despite every hurdle life threw their way, the lovers eventually found their way back to each other. But that's not all about Dizzy. She was an equally resilient member of the Roughnecks who fought the arachnids while dealing with her personal struggles. She also battled claustrophobia, which she initially kept a secret to join the mobile infantry. However, later, Carl uses his psychic powers to help Dizzy overcome her fears through a powerful post-hypnotic suggestion. Always the odd one out with the Roughnecks, Carl Jenkins was a high school buddy of Rico and Dizzy. He had psychic powers, which gave his teammates the creeps, but boy oh boy, he was vital to the squad, and how. During the Hydora campaign, Jenkins pulled out a mind bomb and obliterated the brain bug. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows, because the aftermath left him to deal with serious mental scars. We then saw Jenkins' powers starting to falter. Once, in his attempt to fire a telekinetic blast to protect himself from a bug attack, he knocked himself out cold and landed in a coma. He was then taken away by the military intelligence. And when he came back, Jenkins was no longer the same. Although he was more powerful than ever, the experiments done on him by the military intelligence left him icy and stern, a mere echo of his former self. However, we saw a glimmer of our old Jenkins during the Klendathu campaign. His psychic powers, which were once a source of dread and loneliness, change into a crucial weapon against the bugs. But great powers do not come cheap. It takes a heavy toll on you on a personal front. While Jenkins faced the physical battles with ease, it was the war on his mind and soul that he had to win.
Carmen Ibanez
was a cool cucumber pilot of the Roughnecks who always kept her head in the game. When her dropship went down, she didn't just sit tight. Nope, Carmen was out there and fought shoulder to shoulder with the Roughnecks. She also had a soft spot for Rico, a crush from way back when they were high schoolers. Carmen's blend of cool professionalism and warm personality proves that it's not the rank that makes a leader. No, sir, certainly not. At least that's what we learn from Carmen as she navigates her own course through the chaos of war. The enemy hordes, deciphering the bugs of Roughnecks. While our Alpha team wards off bugs and keeps the universe safe, there are creepy crawlies and high-tech aliens that will make your skin crawl. First up are the warrior bugs. Now, imagine a horse-sized insect with a bad attitude and a taste for chaos. They are like the grunt soldiers of the bug army and swarm their enemies with sheer numbers. They might not be the toughest, but at least they are fast. They can climb walls and burrow underground, so basically no place is safe when these critters are around. Just when you thought you had them figured out, in comes the transport bug. These big boys are like the bug version of interstellar taxis and can shuttle other bugs across space. They can travel between planets and drop off eggs wherever they go. The first time the Roughnecks saw one, it was on a delivery run to Pluto. Then there are the hoppers. As the name suggests, they are the bug's air force, with razor-sharp stingers that can make any wasp jealous. They are tough to take down with light weapons, and these flying nightmares can absorb lasers directed to annihilate them. But hey, don't forget the sentry bugs. Think of a flea, but huge dog-sized with a love for climbing walls. Last but not least, let's talk about plasma bugs. They are massive and can fire explosive plasma from their rear ends. One of the Roughnecks' missions was to capture a baby plasma bug to figure out how it makes that deadly plasma. Every encounter with these deadly bugs pushed our heroes to their limits and kept them on their toes. From ground assaults to aerial attacks, the battle against the bugs is anything but far from boring. Cult classic or forgotten gem. Roughnecks Starship Troopers Chronicles was certainly a game changer in the world of American TV animation. Our brave troopers hopped from one alien planet to another, be it water worlds, desert planets, tangled jungles, or icy asteroids. They even dared to step foot on the bug homeworld and revisited good old Earth. But this wasn't your everyday cartoon. The 3D animation was more similar to a movie, complete with moody lighting and smooth camera movements. The CGI techniques used to breathe life into alien worlds and futuristic battles were nothing short of breathtaking. But you cannot make a cult classic with only CGI and special effects. It was not just about the fight against alien bugs, it was about the people behind the guns. We've got Lieutenant Razak, Sergeant Bruto, and Corporal Rico leading the pack, each with their own grit and determination. The series allowed the viewers to be emotionally invested in every character's journey and root for for them. Although the show was exceptional in the world of sci-fi animation, it was definitely not without its hiccups. Due to budget issues and production glitches, the show was canceled after just one season. This left fans high and dry with an unfinished story and a thirst for more. However, despite its untimely curtain call, Roughnecks has left a legacy in the hearts of both old and new fans. Marvelous verdict. Roughnecks Starship Troopers Chronicles has left a lasting mark on its viewers even after decades. The series took us on an exciting journey through alien terrains where our alpha teams fought fierce battles and, along the way, found themselves and their true potential. Even though the series concluded earlier than fans would have liked, it served just the right amount of action, drama, and teamwork. We are gonna remember the show not just for the epic battles, but for the spirit with which they braved every fight and obstacle. So, if you plan on giving the show a shot, just remember, once you start, there's no turning back. Enjoy the ride. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe out there. Thanks, everyone.